Hello YouTube friends, welcome to another segment of Switch the Script. Today's topic will be covering why African countries lag behind in development. Okay, so we have been trying to get Africa to unite, trying to get Africa to the same level as the Europeans, and it has taken the European nations, the Western nations, a far longer time than necessary. They have been conquered and they have gained from the consequences of being conquered. Africa too has been conquered, but yet we are still here and we are still lagging behind. So why Africa, in my opinion, is still lagging behind? First will be geography and the second is human capital. So that will be experience. And you see, for Africa, our geography is really weird because we are 2,000 feet above sea level. So you're finding our waterways, our inland waterways actually plunge towards the Indian Ocean. Unlike other continents where their inland waterways help them trade within. So you find if you're going to go to the Netherlands, if you're going to go to the UK, you find those inland waterways, those rivers actually can allow ships to go through and they can trade easily. It has helped them develop for years, and it has actually helped them acquire wealth that has enabled them to conquer other nations. Now for Africa, on the other hand, our waterways have rapids, and you're finding that it's really hard for us to use those inland waterways for trade or let's say for transport. The only thing that they can be good for is maybe for tourist attractions, which really we are not gaining a lot from. Now, the other thing that you will have to consider is our coastlines. Africa is really bigger than Europe, but our coastline, we have the shortest coastline of all continents. So you're finding we don't have as many harbors as we would like to have. And also you will notice that in history, most of the Europeans were already aware of Africa, but they didn't want to deal with us because we didn't have all these harbors, natural harbors that were really good for trade. And also getting into the interior of Africa was really difficult. You had to talk to the African kingdoms, or let's say negotiate with them, so you can at least gain from the natural resources within Africa. Now, on the other part will be the human capital part, where you're finding Africa in general doesn't have that human capital, where if by any chance we were to be devastated by natural calamities, it will be really hard for us to get back on our feet, because majority of the population doesn't have that human capital. You'll notice that the Western nations, they were devastated by world wars, but they were able to build back up because they had the knowledge. And once you have the knowledge, it's easier for you to pass it to your other generation and continue to recover to where you once were. So UK, that conquered much of Africa. Yes, it was hit really hard during the World War and still got back up. Also, France was devastated by the Nazis and still got back because they had the knowledge. For Africa, I think we need a lot of human capital where we can really be dependent on ourselves rather than relying on the experts from abroad to come and help us. Because for Kenya, you notice that we have been relying on Japan's experts to formulate designs, to formulate development programs that will actually help us. Our infrastructure, our national grid actually was built by the Japanese. So that's something that we really need to work on, so we can strive for a better Africa, a developed Africa, and an Africa that has moved from poverty to affluence. And that's my take for today. Till next time.